Namaste and a very good morning, dear children. I hope you're all ready for your English class today. Now, children, today we are going to give a little break to grammar and begin with literature. We will start with the chapter Marco Polo. Now, Marco Polo was an adventurous explorer. Adventurous explorer? Adventurous means a person who likes to take risks, who wants to travel and he wants to take dangerous, who wants to do dangerous activities. That's an adventurous explorer who goes and tries to find out new places, new areas. So that's an explorer. So come, let's find out more about Marco Polo. Now Marco Polo, this is the picture of Marco Polo. He was a merchant and an adventurer who travelled with his uncle and father from Venice in northeastern Italy to China. So Marco Polo, he used to really like adventures, and he was a merchant also, and he travelled with his father and uncle to China. And Marco Polo lived in Venice, which is in northeastern Italy. Okay. Now merchant. What is a merchant? A merchant is a trader. Trader, a buyer or a seller who exports and imports things. Exports means if I have a silk shawl, I can sell it to other countries. That is exporting. And importing means when, for example, we get the Chinese products in India, that is importing. The Chinese people are selling. They are exporting to India and we are importing those Chinese products. Fine. Next is adventurer. As I told you, a person who enjoys doing something dangerous or exciting. That's an adventurous person. Okay. Now see, this guy is doing an adventure and it blows up in his face. Next is the Venice city. Now children, Venice is a city which is built on water, and this city has no roads. It has only water. This is Venice. Can you see? And when you have to travel in Venice, you have to take a boat. If I have to go from one place to another, I have to take a boat, as there are no boats, there are no roads, so there are no cycles, no cars. And see, this is the boat. This is a canal. Canal means the pathway, small pathway that are there for the boats to travel. Understood? Now Marco Polo spent 17 years in China before returning to Venice. He was in China for 17 years and after that he came back to his country, and that was Venice. Now let's begin with the chapter. When we open our chapter, which is on page number 32, we find a warm-up exercise. Now in the warm-up exercise, they have given us the different types of boats and descriptions. You have to match the pictures with the description. Fine, you have to do this exercise on your own. Now come, let's begin with the chapter. Long, long ago, when there were no planes and trains, no cars and buses, people had to travel to other countries by ship or caravan. Marco Polo was one such traveler who went to many countries because he wanted to learn about the people, their food habits and their culture. Now this story, this person, Marco Polo, he used to live in a time when there were no vehicles, there was no discovery of vehicles, and people used to travel either by ships or by a caravan. Now caravan, children, is a vehicle which has a horse in the front and it is covered from top. You can travel in it and you can also live in it. Fine, I'll just show you the picture. So Marco Polo, he was one such traveler who went to many countries because he wanted. Why did he go to the other countries? Because he wanted to know about the people of those countries. He wanted to know how they lived and what kind of food they ate, what was their culture, what kind of clothes they wore, what kind of language they spoke. So he traveled to many countries. Let's move forward. Now this is how a caravan looks. A covered vehicle pulled by a horse used for living in. People live inside. Marco Polo was born in Venice, Italy in 1254. When he was 17, he set out on his first voyage with his father Niccolo and his uncle Maffeo. First voyage, he took his first journey by the ship. Voyage means a journey which is taken by a ship or when you travel in space. Fine, that's a voyage. He wanted to visit China to find out about the country and its people. As I told you earlier also, Marco Polo really wanted to know how the people lived, what was their culture. So that's the reason he traveled to different countries. It took him 3 years to reach China. These days, if we have to travel abroad, we have to go to outside countries like London, Paris. It might take 2 or 3 days by plane. But see, Marco Polo took 3 years to reach China. And when he was traveling through the ship, they had to make stops in between. So, along the way, so while going towards China, the stops that he made, he visited many cities and saw many sites. Sites are the area or the ground where a building is built or where a village is built or where a monument has been built, including the holy city of Jerusalem. Holy city of Jerusalem, where the Christians, it is the holy city of Christians. Fine. So he visited the holy city of Jerusalem. Holy means the place of worship, where you worship. He also saw the mountains of the Hindu Kush. He also saw Persia. Persia is a place, and the large Gobi desert. He met a lot of different people and had many adventures. And while traveling to China, during that time, he met a lot of people. He came to know about how many people lived. He met many different people. And he also went on different adventures, means he did many exciting things or maybe some dangerous things. Now let's see the difficult words. Voyage, a long journey which involves that you travel by the ship or in space. And site is an area or ground on which a town or a village or a monument is built or constructed. The wealth and luxury of Chinese cities impressed Marco Polo. Now, when Marco Polo reached China and he saw the Chinese cities, he saw that those cities were very wealthy. They had a lot of money. Okay, the people were very rich. And luxury means they had probably had a lot of jewelry and the houses were really, great. They were really big. So when he saw all this, he was impressed by it. Impressed when you are really in the awe of something, when you're really affected by something strongly. He was fascinated by the grandness and the greatness of Kublai Khan's court. Now, Kublai Khan was the emperor of China at that time. So when he reached there, he was fascinated. Fascinated means he was really attracted. He was really interested to see what all is there in the emperor's court, in Kublai Khan's court. Court means the palace where he used to sit and have meetings. And the grandness means the decoration, the gold that was used in the palace. And when he saw all that, he was completely fascinated. He was very interested to find out what all was there. Fine. It was nothing like he had experienced in Europe. And he had never seen anything of this sort. The way the palace was decorated, the gold that was used, the carvings that were done. He had never seen anything of that sort. The way Kublai Khan was actually, running his country, how they were using paper money. He had never seen any of this in Europe, in the place where he used to live. The capital city of Kinsay was large. Now, Chinese cities had a capital city, and the name of that city was Kinsay. Like we have, India has India's capital is Delhi. In the same way, the capital of China was Kinsay. Now, this city was very large, but this city was very well organized, means everything was running properly, and it was a very clean city. The roads were wide means they were very broad. Okay, they were not very narrow roads. All this was well beyond anything he had ever experienced in Venice. Now, all this was, he had never seen anything like this. And it was above, over and above everything that he had seen so far. He had never seen that a city could be so well organized. Now, Venice does not have roads. So when he saw those large roads, the big roads that were there, and the clean city, he was completely impressed. He was very much intrigued. He wanted to know more about the city. Ki how are they managing? Everything from the food to the people to the animals like orangutans and rhinos were now new and interesting. And everything that he saw in that city, in the cities of China, he was, he wanted to know more about it. He had never seen. For him, everything was new and interesting and exciting. Now let's see the difficult words. The first word that we read was wealth. Wealth means when you have a lot of money. It means when you have a lot of money or you have a lot of valuable things, okay? Expensive things. Second is luxury. Luxury means richness, a state of great comfort when you have a lot of things for your comfort and everything. That is luxury. Now people there probably had a lot of gold. Fine, so this is luxury. The next difficult word is impressed. Impressed means when you show respect or warm approval for someone or something. See how this girl is impressed. So when he saw those buildings there, he was completely impressed by them. Fascinated, when you are strongly interested in something, you want to know something, how are they doing it? That is fascination. See, look at the girl's eyes, how she is fascinated with what she is looking at. Beta, impressed means when you see something and you say, wow, this is really nice what they have done. Fascinated is when you are really interested in knowing how are they doing it. I also want to do it. So that is fascinating. The next word that we read was grand. Grand means something which is larger than life, magnificent. Like your Burj Khalifa, it is magnificent, it is grand. The way they have built it, it is grand. The building is grand, so big and so glassware and everything, the construction. Like you read about that Statue of Unity, it is so big, it is a grand statue. Understood? Which is larger than life, very big and very nicely made. Fine. This is how an orangutan looks. Now come, let's continue. Marco Polo lived in China for many years and learned to speak the local language. Local language, the language that they use, probably the Chinese language. He traveled throughout China. He served as a messenger. Messenger is the one who carries messages. So Marco Polo used to carry messages for Kublai Khan, probably to other countries or other places. And spy is a person who gets secret information of other countries or maybe some organization. So Marco Polo was also the spy of Kublai Khan, the emperor of China. He was getting secret information for Kublai Khan. He visited a lot of countries in Western Asia, North Africa and Southern Europe. So during his time in China, he went to many cities and some of the names of the cities is given. Messenger, as I told you, someone who takes the messages. And spy is a person who is sent to find out more information about a country or an organization. I hope the chapter is clear till here, children. Thank you and have a nice day. Next, the remaining chapter we are going to continue in the next class. Bye-bye for now.